It's Wednesday, February 21st, 2018. And as every Wednesday, we do Eezeey Gamer. That's right, I am the Eezeey Gamer. I look for easy games, and I talk about game topics on the Eezeey Gamer show. And what's my topic today? It's this. And my Sega Genesis collection, which is very small. I used to have a lot more, but I got rid of them a long time ago because I had to get PlayStation games. But this game right here, this is the main part of the topic. I was looking through my PlayStation 2 games and I realized I had 2 copies of this. And I'm going, well, why do I have 2 copies of this? Why would I buy 2 copies? I played the first game, I played this game, and it's a good game. It really is. But not good enough to own 2 copies of it. Well, back when Shadow Hearts Covenant, which was the part 2 to this game, came out, I pre-ordered it. And part of the pre-order was getting this game. You got this for free. Well, I was looking at it, and I noticed it had this. Basically says, promotional copy, not for resale. Now, promotional copy, not for resale, usually means not worth jack crap. Well, it's still sealed, as you can see. It has never been opened at all. So I got curious to see what it would be worth. These things are going anywhere sealed from $400 to $800 for this. This is going for $400 to $800 sealed. And it's like this was given to me. Why would you give me this game for pre-ordering? This is the weird part. You get this game for pre-ordering Shadow Hearts Covenant, the part 2. Chances are, if you're pre-ordering part 2 of a game, you've already played part 1. So yeah, this game boggles my mind, but it's worth anywhere from $400 to $800, depending on where you're looking. And it's because of this. This little thing right here that says promotional copy, not for resale, completely sealed. Not been opened, not been messed with. And the reason I never had to do it, because I had another copy of this game that I had already played. So if I wanted to play it again, I would just use that copy. Years and years ago, I thought, I'm just going to get rid of this. Well, I ended up sticking it somewhere, hiding it away somewhere, and then I basically discovered it again. Glad I didn't get rid of it back then, because it probably would have only been worth nothing, because I couldn't have gotten rid of it. So I couldn't have taken it to GameStop and gotten any money for it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting that I discovered sometimes you just collect crap and every once in a great while you hit on something that's worth a little bit. Now, am I going to sell it? I don't know. Probably not. Because going through eBay and stuff like that, you have to find, it's worth what somebody is willing to pay. I see the prices, and that's what the asking prices are, $400 to $800. What the actual selling price for is, I don't know. People, they're not probably going to ask for much more than that, but it's also not easy to find. I can't find a lot of copies of this online for sale. I really can't. I was trying, but there's not a lot of them out there for sale right now. Now, when PlayStation 2 collecting maybe becomes a little bit more popular, these things might pop up all over the place, and then they won't be worth anything. Because remember, there was over 120 million PlayStation 2s. So I'm guessing a few more of these are out there sealed. So it'd probably be better if I sold it now and just got rid of it. Because maybe in 5 years when PlayStation 2 collecting is maybe a lot bigger, that won't be worth as much because a lot more of them will get discovered. So now we're going to go through my Genesis collection. Now, I used to have probably about 40 or 50 Genesis games when I had my Genesis. But when I bought my PlayStation, I wanted to buy more PlayStation games. So I went and I traded in most of my Genesis games. And I only kept 9. Now, one of them I'm not going to show you because it's Monopoly. And I stumbled on that one too. It's like, why'd I keep this? I should have sold that. But I still have Monopoly. But these are the games I kept. Now, the only reason I kept this one, because it says not for resale. That's not worth anything. This came out with the Sega Genesis for a while. The Sega Genesis, this was a pack-in game. I only kept it because I couldn't get rid of it. I'm not that big of a Sonic fan. I don't really care. This game's okay, but I'm not much of a side-scrolling platformer fan. So I ended up keeping this one. And basically, I only kept it because I really couldn't have gotten rid of it. I probably still can't get rid of this thing. The next one I'm going to show you is this one. Hardball 3. Randy, why'd you keep that? That's awful. I basically kept a game. I kept one game from every sports franchise or sports genre that I had. And I had a few baseball games. I had World Series Baseball 97, World Series Baseball like 95. I had World Series Baseball 95, which I really liked. But this one let you create your own team. So you could name all the players, pick their starting statistics, their starting attributes, and you could play through a season. You could pick the park, you could name your team, you could name all your players. I loved it. I kept it for that reason. The baseball in this looks horrible. Let me see if I can get the graphics up close enough. Look at those graphics. Those graphics are just not very good. World Series Baseball's graphics were much better. But I really did also enjoy playing this game. This game was a lot of fun to play, too, for me. World Series Baseball is more known for its PC versions than it is, or the Hardball. The Hardball series is more known for its PC versions than it is its console versions. In fact, that might have been one of the few console ones that came out. The next one. I'm not a fan of this sport. I really am not, but I loved this game. PGA Tour Golf. Now, why did I like this game? Well, you could create your own golfers, and you could save after every shot. So I used to win all these tournaments really easy because every time I'd hit a good shot, I'd save it real quick. And you could create your own golfer and pick their name. And you could go through a career mode with them. And it would show their career earnings. So, as you can tell, I kept a lot of games because I could create players. But if you look at this, I mean, you got McCumber, who I don't remember. I remember Sindahar. I remember Couples and Stadler. But Litchi and Mize, I don't remember a lot of these guys. But I mean, look at those beautiful graphics. Look at that. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at that putting green. Look at that thing. Look at that right there. But I loved this game. I don't like golf, but I played this for hours. I mean, I really put tons and tons of hours into it, so I kept my golf game. Now, I had much better football games than this one. I only kept this one because it was such an early iteration of the series. And it's Madden 92. Madden, I think, came out in 91. I think there was a year previous to this. But I kept this one. I kept Madden 92. I had a couple other football games that were better. I only kept this one because it was so early. Now, I used to love the Madden series. I played it all the time. I was buying these things every year like a lot of people did. And I think I did that up until about 2006. And then it just got stale. And then I'd buy them sparingly, usually one about every 3 or 4 years. But I kept this one. I didn't really particularly enjoy this one. And I do actually have another football game on my Genesis. I kept this one because of how early it was, because it's the second of these, the second Madden. But the other one I kept much better and loved it. This one, it's okay, but I kept it because it was so old. Now this one, not a sports game, but I dumped a ton of hours into it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Desert Strike. I like this. You'll also know I kept a lot of Electronic Arts games. This is Electronic Arts. PGA Tour Golf is Electronic Arts. Madden is Electronic Arts. And I think I got 2 more in here that are Electronic Arts. That's back when they cared about making good games and being nice to their fans. Desert Strike, if you never played it, it's kind of played on an isometric view. You're a helicopter, the attack chopper. You're going in and you're trying to rescue POWs and you're blowing up strategic points on the map. A lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I dumped a lot of hours into this game. It's not an easy game, but this is back when you didn't get a lot of games, so you had to play with what you had. So I dumped a lot of hours into it, got okay at it, never actually beat it. But, doesn't really matter. Then I kept my favorite basketball game from the Genesis, NBA Live '96. Once again, look at that little EA Sports logo. That's right, kept it. We're gonna take it. You want to see the graphics? You want to see those? Oh, look how beautiful those are. Look at that. Why did I keep this? Full stat tracking, and you could create a player. Full stat tracking, create a player, and that's why I kept this game. It's like, and it was fun. I mean, it was a fun NBA game. I did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun with it. But the games are much better now. This one, there's a not my favorite hockey game, but there's a reason I kept this one. NHL PA Hockey 93. Now, why did I keep this one? The reason I kept this one is because in NHL PA Hockey 93 for Electronic Arts again, there it is, EA Sports. It's in the game. Blood was in the game. That's right. You could hit somebody so hard in this game that blood would spill out onto the ice when you knocked them out. I mean, a big old puddle of blood would just come right out of their head on the white ice. This was the last year they allowed it. In 94, it's not in 94. 93 was the last year. I think it was in 92, and it was in 93. And in 94, they took it out of the game. So I kept this one. I'm sure tons of people bought this thing, but it's like I kept this one because it's like they just stopped doing it. They stopped with the blood. So I kept this one because I always wanted to be able to say I still had my copy where you could hit somebody hard enough and the blood would come out. It was so awesome. That's what hockey should be. Look at them. Look at all these guys. Look at them all. Who are these people? I remember a lot of these guys. I remember Leach. I remember LaFontaine, Andy Moog, Steve Yzerman, Ray Bork, Patrick Waugh. Both of those guys were Colorado Avalanche. In fact, Bork got his only Stanley Cup ring with the Avs. With the I wasn't on the Avs, but with the I could have been. Not a lot of people know it. I could have been on the Avs. I was the third line defensive man. Yeah, okay. Jeremy Ronan and Tocchet. So, yeah, great game. But here's my favorite game. This is my favorite game coming up. This is the best football game of all time. The best football game. Tecmo Super Bowl. Tecmo Super Bowl is the best football game of all time. The best. There is no football game better. If you think there's a better football game, you're right in your mind. But to me, this is the greatest. The greatest. Look at this. This is back before they even had real players. This is just a guy wearing a Cowboys helmet. This is some dope holding a football wearing a Cowboys helmet. Look at like these shoulder pads. He's supposed to be the quarterback. No quarterback has shoulder pads. Those are like linebacker shoulder pads that go out to here. But this, I mean, look at even the rating on this thing. That was the rating. That was before the ESRB really got put together. I mean, that says for appropriate for all audiences. They don't have that anymore. I don't think they have that anymore. I can't remember what the actual rating is for them now, but this is a great game. I used to play every team, every game during the whole season. I would basically decide which team I wanted to win. I would play that team, and then at the end of the season, I would write down the stats of every player. Every single player, I would write down their stats at the end of the year, and I kept them in a notebook. I still have that note, and it's not in a notebook, it's in a binder with a ton of papers, but I still have that thing, and it's still got all these stats from about 6 full seasons playing every game, every team. I played this. That's how much I love this game. Loved it. And I tried getting the Tecmo Super Bowl that's on the EA or on MSN arcade or whatever. Not the same because it didn't have any of the real players. So it's just basically a football game but without the real players. And it makes a difference. It does make a difference to have the real players. So there is Genesis Collection. Game that cost $600 because of this. $400 to $800 because of this. So, with that all being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.